Is Honkai Star Rail doomed to fail? Many of us as of recently have been seeing reasons or been given reasons as to why Honkai Star Rail will not be a good game or it's doomed for failure. I want to discuss the main reasons why one may say that, the reasons I've seen at least, and my personal thoughts on the topic. The primary reasons why people are saying Honkai Star Rail will fail is due to it being a turn-based game, the gacha system, the grind it entails, and so on. So to begin, the turn-based combat will honestly be very hit or miss with most players. I'm a huge fan of turn-based games such as Fire Emblem, Pokemon, the game that nobody really knows of, but I personally really love Magical Star Sign, and so on. I grew up with turn-based games, and I wholeheartedly love them, which is why I know I'll love Honkai Star Rail's turn-based system, and after being able to play that final closed beta for now about 2-ish weeks, I can confidently say I definitely love the gameplay. It's very simple, which is nice for newcomers, but can also possess challenges, especially later on, where veterans may appreciate that, such as knowing when to use your skill since you have 5 skill points, and have to keep that in mind when you decide which actions to do. Normal attacks gain a skill point back, so you have to do a combination of your normal attacks, your skills, and the ultimate we gain after doing a few attacks and skills matter a lot, as playing without a plan in mind will make it harder for when you are trying to do that harder content. It will become more difficult as you go through the game. So as a veteran of turn-based RPGs, I enjoy the strategy involved in Honkai Star Rail quite a lot. I believe those who are new to the game or a bit unsure should try the game when it does release, and if they don't like it, it's a-okay, as it won't be for everyone. Additionally, if you are enjoying the video so far and want to support the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I feel like though, as long as everyone gives it a shot and sees how they like it, it'll be a fair chance given to this game, especially if the main concern is turn-based. Once again, I know turn-based is not for everybody. It's really difficult for a lot of people to possibly get into it, especially if they are against it. Many of us don't randomly decide, I like something I've always disliked. Like, let's say you have apples and oranges, and you really don't like oranges, but you always love apples. So you'll always try to consume apples when you can instead of oranges. But some days you may actually want to try that orange. It just really depends on the day. And I really think it really depends on the game as well in this case. Because some turn-based RPGs I have played are very, very grindy, time-consuming, and so on. And I feel like Honkai Star Rail is not really like that grindy. Like, you do have to grind, but the game absolutely respects your time, which is a thing I'm going to be getting into as well. But I feel like Honkai Star Rail does a really good job at the turn-based when it comes to understanding it from a simple level, being able to play the game as a newcomer or a veteran. And I feel like overall, I don't think it's a bad system. I know some people actually were complaining about the simplicity of the system, but I feel like the focus that Mihoyo/HoYoverse were trying to go for is a simple enough system where newcomers can enjoy this genre that they may have not played before, or may have played before but don't like because of the complexity that it can entail, while it's also pretty nice for veterans because a lot of veterans, they love turn-based. Like, a lot of veterans I know who are turn-based players or love turn-based RPGs, they like to deep dive into a lot of turn-based games, myself included. I love playing any turn-based game I can. The simplicity or the, complexity of the game doesn't necessarily matter to me. As long as I'm having a good time, I enjoy this story and more, then I think that's a great thing, and I do think that Honkai Star Rail does a really good job, once again, with its turn-based system. Personally, as I've said, I think it's great, but everyone does have their own preferences on the games they do like. And as for the gacha rate, it's basically identical to Genshin Impact's, except the weapon banner is a bit better due to having the same rules apply for a guaranteed weapon on your second pity if you don't get the first one. Additionally, the weapon banner, which is called light cones in this game, the light cone banner will only have one promotional light cone on the banner at once from what we've seen so far. So there's a 75% chance to get that light cone, 25% chance for an off pity, and yeah, it is still possible to get off pity, but I feel like the rate of getting the actual Litecoin you really want is definitely higher in this game than in Genshin. So I think personally, that's a really good thing. And I don't think the gacha is honestly too bad if you're actually like, pretty smart with your resources. As the beta players I've spoken to about the game that are farther than I am, were able to generate a good amount of pulls after playing the game for a good amount of time. So ultimately, I think the gacha will be okay as long as you go for who you want and save for those future characters. Since a person doesn't really need every character in this game, which I do appreciate that, you definitely will need multiple characters. However, you do not need every single character. You'll just want to have a bunch of characters, or rather a good amount of characters, where you have element coverages, be able to go for weaknesses, be able to make some team comps. So you don't need everybody for that though. You just need, go for your favorites and build around that with what you have. So there's also that factor to consider, just to pull for you want. I don't think you should meta chase, especially because I'm not too sure if this game will have PvP. We have not seen anything about PvP so far though. So in my mind right now, I'm going with no because we haven't seen anything. If the game does have PvP, there is a way for PvP to honestly work where it's not whale territory, which would be that essentially the PvP mode could balance all characters, or it can make all the characters maxed out or have them all set at a certain level. Kind of like Pokemon, how all the Pokemon are set at level 50 and there are regulations on what happens. So let's say Honkai Star Rail has PvP and HoYoverse / Mihoyo does not want, I guess, power creep or whales to just dominate that territory, which whales do dominate a lot of PvP in a lot of games because there's no regulations on, I guess, how strong can your character be in comparison to someone, let's say, who's free to play. So I like games that are able to have a regulation where I feel like it's really fair and it allows people to essentially, even if they don't have all those maxed out characters, they still have a shot at possibly being at the top of the leaderboard. And I know that's really wishful thinking, but hypothetically, if Star Rail does have PvP, I feel like a bit of regulations would be nice for that, just so it's not completely whale dominant, but it really depends on the company that is running it, since we know that with HoYoverse, they don't really have many PvP modes. I know that Honkai Impact kind of does, where I honestly forgot the name of the mode. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, but it's where you fight, I believe it's weekly or bi-weekly, but you fight these enemies and there's certain weathers and so on. For those who play Honkai Impact religiously, please let me know which mode I'm talking about. But essentially you are trying to get as many points, I guess, as possible, and to do it as fast as possible. I believe that is what this is based on. But yeah, that mode, I feel like I've been told from some people it is kind of whale territory. Like if you want the maximum rank in that mode, which I don't remember the name of unfortunately at this current moment, but I heard if you want the maximum rank, you're really gonna have to have some invested characters for that. So I hope if Star Rail does have any form of PvP, once again, it's regulated. As for the grind, which is the last thing I'll be talking about, and it'll be pretty short, the grind is actually short. I literally said it before I said it. The grind is pretty short, and the reason I say this is because let's say you have your maxed out Trailblazer power, which is your stamina in this game. From what it seems in the beta, we get 180. And when you do modes that give you EXP books, relics, which are artifacts in this game, or any of those modes that take up your stamina, or rather your Trailblazer power, you can do a ×6, and you can put it on auto, and you can put it on ×2. And also you can use one of your friend's characters or a random person's character, there we go, to assist you in these modes, or assist you basically during your grind. So you could put that on auto, do it ×6 3 times, because then it'll take up 60, 60, 60, which is 180, and then you're kind of just done. You did what you had to do. The commissions in this game are also pretty short, really short in comparison to Genshin's commissions. So the grind in the game isn't actually that long, and I feel like it really does respect your time, since you can auto most of it, and you can get through it really quick. And let's say you're at work or you're at school, whatever it may be, you could just put it on auto real quick, put it back in your pocket. When you feel like it's done, just do it 2 more times, and then you're done. you got your stuff for the day, and you used up your trailblazer power. So I appreciate the grind aspect because while, you do want to grind and get better relics, better levels, and so on, I feel like it's really nice that the game does respect your time in this aspect. I know a lot of games don't really respect your time. You have to go through a lot of tedious things, but this game makes it really easy for you to be in and out if you are casual. And if you enjoy, playing those levels, you don't have to put it on auto. You can play it if you want. It just depends on your time, but I feel like it's a really good system since it'll allow you, even if you're on it's a really busy day, you'll still be able to use your trailblazer power as long as you just log in, as long as you do the time 63 times, then you'll be able to get it. So overall, I think the grind factor is completely fine, in my opinion at least, and it respects your time. So I heavily appreciate that. So overall, after everything I've said, I can only speak on my own thoughts and experiences, but so far I've been loving the beta, so I'm incredibly excited for the release of the game, and I plan to give you guys guides, discussions, reactions, and so on. So if you're interested in that and enjoyed this video and my thoughts, make sure to hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and let me know down in the comments down below how you feel about Honkai Star Rail, just your raw feelings about the game. Do you feel like it's doomed to fail, or do you think it'll be fine in the end? Let me know. I hope you all have a good one. Peace.